This is the story of one of the most daring heists in British history. On a quiet August night in 1963, a Royal Mail train left Glasgow, carrying something nobody expected. 2.6 million in cash. Hidden in the darkness near Leighton Buzzard, a team of 15 men waited in silence. No guns, no face coverings, no violence planned. Just a single brilliant plan. Stop the train, take the money. In 1963, Britain was changing, post-war optimism was growing, money was flowing and crime was evolving. And in the shadows of that new Britain stood a group of men with a plan, unlike anything the country had ever seen. At the centre was Bruce Reynolds, charismatic, sharp, and obsessed with pulling off the perfect job. Alongside him were men like Ronnie Biggs, Buster Edwards, Charlie Wilson, and a team of seasoned criminals who knew how to work military-level precision. But they also had something no British gang had used before. A man on the inside, known only as the Ulsterman. He wasn't a robber, he was a railway worker, and he knew exactly where the money train would be, and exactly how to stop it without raising suspicion. To the gang, he wasn't just an informant, he was the key, the one piece they needed to turn an impossible idea into a real living plan. And once they had him, there was no going back. At 3:03 a.m, as the Royal Mail train approached Bridego Bridge near Leighton Buzzard, the gang put their plan into action. A false green signal light had been wired into the real signal system, a trick that forced driver Jack Mills to slow the train and eventually stop it completely. He thought it was just a malfunction. He had no idea he was about to be part of the biggest cash robbery in British history. The moment the train halted, the gang swarmed the locomotive. Mills was struck on the head, disorientated but conscious, while the robbers took control of the engine. In total, 15 men were involved, each with a job cutting lines, positioning vehicles, guarding the bridge, unloading bags or controlling the crew. The train was then moved a few hundred yards to the bridge itself, exactly where the gang wanted it. This was the perfect location, hidden, quiet and far from nearby houses. Everything had to be done fast, and from the moment the wheels stopped turning, the clock was ticking. With the money loaded and the train stopped exactly where they wanted it, the gang's next problem was the crew. They had to make sure no alarm could be raised. The robbers dragged the injured driver Jack Mills down from the locomotive and moved the rest of the train crew into the engine cab. They weren't killed, but they were tied up, guarded and kept away from any controls. While this was happening, the gang split into two teams. One continued bagging the cash, the other started preparing their getaway route, a convoy of stolen trucks hidden down a narrow farm track in the dark. Every movement was planned to the minute, no talking, no arguing, just fast discipline action. These weren't amateurs. This was a military-style operation. Within minutes, the sacks of money were offloaded, the crew restrained, and the tracks silent again. Not a single weapon fired, not a single local alerted. The gang then vanished into the countryside with over 2.6 million worth, more than 55 million in today's money, leaving the train and the stunned crew behind in total silence. After the robbers fled Bridego Bridge, the scale of the crime hit the nation instantly. A Royal Mail train robbed, 2.6 million stolen, and a gang who vanished into the countryside without a trace. For days, police were completely blind. There were no fingerprints, no witnesses, no clear motive. But everything changed when officers discovered Leverslade Farm, the gang's hideout, abandoned and frozen in time. Inside tables were covered in banknotes, tools, gloves, food, sleeping bags, all left exactly as the robbers dropped them. It was the single biggest breakthrough of the entire investigation. Detectives began tracking the smallest clues: boot prints, rope fibres, a single fingerprint left on a Monopoly board piece by piece. The identities of the crew began to emerge. One by one, arrests followed across London and the home counties, but several key members, including Ronnie Biggs, managed to escape the country completely, beginning a chase that would last decades. The Great Train Robbery didn't just change criminal history, it transformed British policing forever. After the dramatic arrests and the nationwide search that gripped Britain, the Great Train Robbery entered its final and most unbelievable phase. In court, the sentences were historic. Many of the gang received 25 to 30 years, some of the longest non-murder sentences Britain had ever handed out. Newspapers called it the crime of the century, and for the public it was part horror, part fascination. But the story didn't end inside a prison cell. In 1965, Ronnie Biggs, one of the most infamous members of the gang, staged an escape so daring it stunned the entire country. He scaled a prison wall, jumped into a waiting van and vanished. Eventually, Biggs resurfaced in Brazil, turning himself into a worldwide symbol of rebellion, notoriety and controversy. Meanwhile, huge portions of the stolen 2.6 million were never recovered. To this day, historians still debate where the money went and whether hidden shares of the heist remain somewhere in the English countryside. Bridego Bridge, the site of the robbery near Leighton Buzzard, has since become a quiet, almost ghostly landmark, a place where one still feels the echoes of that night in 1963. And while decades have passed, the Great Train Robbery continues to influence British crime, history, pop, culture, films, books, and documentaries. This was more than a robbery. It was a moment that changed policing, changed public opinion, and became a legend that refuses to fade. The Great Train Robbery remains, even now, one of the boldest heists in British history. For more than 60 years, the Great Train Robbery has remained one of Britain's most astonishing crimes, not just because of the money stolen, but because of how carefully, how confidently, and how completely this gang executed their plan. A Royal Mail train, a quiet stretch of countryside near Leighton Buzzard, a bridge at Bridego, and a team of men who believed they could outsmart an entire nation. Some of them paid the price, some of them disappeared into legend, and some never spoke a word about what really happened that night. But the story never stopped, with every new clue, every document unsealed, and every rumour that still circulates today. The mystery of that night grows deeper. One train, one bridge, one moment in history that shook Britain, and still captures our imagination 6 decades later. Thank you for watching this documentary. If you'd like to see more true history, deep dives, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and join me again for the next story.